Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is, I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain that joke, as well as the purpose of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finances, and sometimes fun. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. I'm so glad to see you, and I'm really glad to be back in the studio, and Shane Dale, producer extraordinaire, has been just so gracious to have me in here. Recorded the last couple episodes at home, it's just the way it worked over the holidays, but I am glad to be here. Thank you, everybody who's been listening and watching. A lot of folks have been over on YouTube, which has been great. But thank you always for everybody checking them out. Last week, I shared a seminar that I had done with an author's mastermind, helping them sell 1,000 books in 12 months, which is a really hard task for an independent author. It can be done, but if you didn't get a chance to check out that episode, go back and check it out. It's how to sell 1,000 books in 12 months. And again, it's not a cheat code. This is the hard work to get it done. But if you are an author or you're thinking about being an author, it should offer some, pretty interesting, but also very practical steps to get you there. It's in a mastermind model on a Zoom. So thank you, everyone who checked it out, and the kind words to go along with it. And so check that out, especially my friend Brian Drake, who reached out and said, hey, I didn't know you did this. I want to watch it. So thanks so much. But this week, moving towards a few things. Now, I had a family member over the holidays ask me this question. Because with our program, Capitalize Your Best, and I'm talking about it all the time, we help you capitalize on what you do best, and those kind of things. They said, what does that even mean? I was like, okay, well, capitalize on your best means that you work out of your strengths, right? You know what your talents and your giftings are, and you build your business and your revenue and your life around it, because those are the things that you have been literally gifted with. So capitalizing on them, for us, is we're helping people create and grow revenue and create and grow their marketing presence from the things that they're best at, capitalizing on their best. Because when we market, when we put ourselves out there online, whenever we do what we do, we should lead in humility, but lead with the things that we've been gifted and talented with. So that's capitalizing your best. And then the follow-up question that I was asked was, well, what if I don't know what my best is? Fantastic question. I'm so glad they asked, because people do interact with me about that topic, and they wonder if Capitalize Your Best is like a skill inventory or a gift assessment, and it's not. It's not what it is. We do go through in my program a way for you to help you understand what your best is, but the program is emphasizing that in a marketing program to get there. But what I thought I would do is, since we don't spend a ton of time in the program with a skills test or an inventory test, why don't I take this time on the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast to give you a couple of tips, if you're kind of fuzzy about what your best is, that this will help you figure out what your best is. Now, I've got this on my phone because I did an article about it recently on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss some of the finer points. So I've got it in front of me. I try not to use a whole lot of notes, but it's okay. But here it is. We're going to talk about how do you find out what your best is, and I hope I offer a couple suggestions to you that maybe you didn't think about. So I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, and there's a story behind this mug. This is a Starbucks mug. It's got the capitalized sticker on it. And so this is a complete deviation, but it's my show. And so they have this mug in January. It's a travel mug. And if you buy it, you get free black coffee or tea every single day in January. And the mug is like $65. It's a nice mug, but that's expensive. But you get free black coffee or tea every single day. And so since my daughter Landry works at Starbucks, she got this with her employee discount. She gave it to me for Christmas, which means on top of all the capitalized coffee I already drink and my friends at Italian Station and 2530, I now get free coffee at Starbucks every single day in January, which is probably why I'm jacked out of my eyeballs and have a lot of energy for you. So one more sip and let's get going. Okay. If you're unsure about what your best is, here's what we're going to do. Number one. Assess your current skills and experiences. Now, these things I'm going to tell you, I literally want you to get out a piece of paper and do it. I mean, a piece of paper and a pen. I promise you it's going to help. Like, write down, what are my talents and what are my experiences? Now, Talents are things not just that you think you have, but people have affirmed that you have. You might go, I'm a great public speaker. Well, you may be or maybe not. Have other people told you that? Like, you know what? You're really gifted at speaking in public. Like, when you write down, of course, write down what you think, but give a heavier emphasis to the talents that you have seen people recognize in you. Because when you are capitalizing your best, you want to move forward out of a strength that people recognize in you. If you're moving forward in your gifting and your talents, and people recognize it, you're going to relate and connect a little bit better. So, what skills and talents do you have that people have recognized? And same question, what are your experiences? What experiences have you had with those talents? You see, for me, I've been fortunate that I taught high school English, and I was a pastor for 20 years. So that means I preached 48 Sundays, and I led a couple of thousand Bible studies. And so the idea of speaking in public is something I'm not perfect at, but I'm comfortable with. You give me 30 seconds and say, hey, can you speak in public on this topic? I'm going to step up to the mic and do it. Because I've got 10,000 hours of expertise. I've got more than 10,000 hours. And I'm thankful for that. That's a talent. So when I am capitalizing my best, I need to utilize being in front of the camera, having a podcast, making reels, Instagram, all of those things. I'm better on a video camera than I am with a photo. So for me, I need to capitalize on that. So that's why I put out content where I'm looking into the camera. That's why when I started partnering with Shane Dell here in the studio, all of a sudden the YouTube channel took off because then I had video. Works the same way for you. Write down on a piece of paper. What are the talents that you have, the talents that other people have recognized in you, and then what experiences have you had around them? That's a great place to start. Because then you can begin to think, okay, what do I need to build using those talents and experiences? Number 2, identify your values and interest. You might say, Gordon, what do you mean identify your values? You got to be straightforward. You really do. You've got to write out, what are my values? A value can, of course, be I don't lie and I don't work with people that lie. But like a value for me is I only want to work with people who have a growth mindset. Like, hey, I'm doing this because I love growth and I'm going to do whatever it takes to grow. Then I want to work with that person. Another value of mine is I don't work with people who make threats. If someone signs up for the Capitalize Your Best program and goes, this better work or else, I don't want to work with them. I don't want to work with them. I have complete confidence in my program. I don't want to work with people who make threats. Those are my values. I value growth mindset. I don't value threats. I write those things down. I know what they are. And interest, values and interest. Where am I interested? Man, I love small businesses. I love business. I love the eye care industry. I love writing. I love things about brain health. I mean, all of that is part of this. So the idea for you is you want to write down, what are my values? And then what are my interests? Because then you can see where we're moving forward with that. You've already got your talents, you've got your experiences, you've got your values, you've got your interest, and we're beginning to move to a place where you can say, oh, this is how I operate at my best. You don't do anything that violates that. I once had, one of my values in my program is I don't want people to put their lives in jeopardy by paying for my program. I just don't. Understandably, someone might charge it or something like that. That's fine. But I don't want people to I don't want them to go without food to go with my program. And I had someone one time saying they had a secret credit card that their spouse didn't know about. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I don't want to challenge the partnership in your life for you to partner with me. And so values, interests, talents, experiences, write those down. Those things enable you to begin moving forward like, oh, what I'm going to do takes advantage of the best of my gifts and talents and my prior experiences. It helps me operate out of the value system that's important to me, and it's something I'm interested in because no one wants to do anything they're just flat out not interested in. Okay? All right. Number 3, set clear and achievable goals. Man, so many conversations about goals lately. Listen, I am a goal setter, but I used to be like huge goal setter, but wouldn't attach anything to it. Like this year, I'm going to run 2,000 miles, and I did that, accomplished it 2 years in a row. But it became easier when I created a system to enable me to achieve those goals. My favorite book of 2022 was Atomic Habits. I must have had 3 conversations today about the book Atomic Habits. And the premise of that book is this: you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Goals are great. If you don't create a system, you can't achieve the goals. So when you set clear and achievable goals, I'm not saying set small goals. I mean, they can be big. They should stretch you. But an achievable goal is possible when you create a system around it. So you know your talents, you know your experiences, you know your values, you know your interests, and then you set goals and you create a system around it. So that goal might be, okay, I'm going to sign up for Gordon's program, and within the first 2 months, I'm going to have a sense of really what I want to market, and by the end of the 6 months, I want to double ROI for my investment. I'm going to do that because when I sign up for the program, every Monday and Wednesday night, I'm going to set that time aside to work on the program. And then on the weekends, I'm going to do, and then you see how that happens? When you create the system around the goals, they're much more achievable. I've told this story over and over again. I'm going to keep telling it. How do I go running every morning? Well, the night before, I look at the weather app. I set out my clothes. They're at the bottom of the steps. I even get my coffee mug out. I even pick out what I'm going to listen to, and then that way when I get downstairs, I can't negotiate with myself. I put on my clothes, I have my cup of coffee, I put on my headphones, and I get out the door. If something in that system is not set, it's easy for me to procrastinate or even for me not to run. But the system enables it. I know what I'm going to run, how many miles I'm going to run, and all that stuff, because when I walk downstairs, it's all set. That system enables me to run. So you want talents, experiences, interests, values, and set achievable goals. You're moving towards how to figure out how to capitalize your best and figure out what is your best to capitalize. Woo! I'm excited. You guys doing all right? Let me take a break. It's so good to be back in the studio. Really, really, really happy to be here. Okay, next. This one people don't do. Just don't do it. They don't do it. Ask for feedback and support. Now, feedback is, let's say you've decided, my best is encouraging others, speaking in public, creating marketing programs. That's my best, okay? And I've decided, hey, that's my best. It's time for me to ask somebody. So I sit down with them and I say, hey, I want your honest feedback. I'm not going to argue with you. Because if you don't promise not to argue with you, people aren't going to tell you the truth. And I say, hey, here's what I think my best is. Do you think, and you can explain it. And you say, do you think that's close? And they've got to be bold enough to be honest with you, and you've got to be humble enough to take it. You got to have feedback, and you got to have support. So you get the feedback. Now, the support's the most important thing. So once you have determined your best and a course of action, you got to look at the people around the table in your life and like, I need unwavering support. Do we agree this is a good plan? Okay. Unwavering support. I don't need anybody casting any doubts. Don't need any critics. I support you. You support me. Let's just go do it. Feedback and support. Because when you get the interest and the talents and the gifts and the values and the goals and the systems and the feedback and the support, man, you know what is best about you and how to build a life. It does not answer every question, but it gets you going in a specific direction. Then what do? This is going to seem counterintuitive. Okay? You found out what you're best at. Now what I tell you, you got to go learn new skills. You have to. You're like, wait a minute, I just found out what I'm best at, and you're telling me I got to go learn something new? Yes. Here's the thing. A good idea doesn't make a business. I've seen Shark Tank a million times. They're like, oh, that's great, that seems interesting, but that's not a business. You might even be able to make some quick money. I'll give you an example. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT right now, which is the open sourced artificial intelligence. And you can tell it, hey, write me 10 tweets about leadership development, and it'll do it for you. And people are like, ooh, I'm going to create a marketing business around that, and it'll be so easy. ChatGPT will do it for me. Well, great. Rock on. Go for it. A couple of things. ChatGPT today is completely down. So all of a sudden you can't deliver it to your clients. Your brain works. ChatGPT doesn't. Secondly, that's not a business. That's a tool. It's a tool. That's like saying, oh, I should start a marketing business because Facebook exists. It's just a tool. Learn how to use it. That's the tool you learn, but that doesn't make the business. You got to have all the other stuff around it. So you got to learn new skills. You do. You've got to figure out, what do I not know? And that's why the feedback's important. And if you don't, you're like, you know what, I have no idea how to do payroll. I have no idea how to file business taxes. I have no idea how to open up a business account. I have no idea how to get an employee identification number. I have no idea how to get my 1099s to my contractors by January 31st. I mean, all that's part of making a business. So you're going to have to learn new skills. But the good thing is you're operating out what you do best. That's what you're building your business and your platform on. But you got to figure out, someone tell me what I don't know. And sometimes you learn that by very hard experience, and sometimes you get it by feedback and support. So you learn new skills. That goes directly into the next one. Man, you got to take on more responsibility. Because what got you here won't get you there. The energy that got you to this point is not the energy that can get you to the next point. What is required for you to move ahead is more than what was required to get you here. You might say, Gordon, I'm tired. I was like, I get it. Get more rest, drink more water. Make sure you're exercising. But here's the thing, guys. You are going to have to grow in responsibility if you want to grow from your best, increase your revenue, or increase your marketing platform. You're just going to have to. That responsibility might be yours or it might be with someone else. You might take on like larger contracts, or the responsibility you take on is a commitment to yourself. I'm going to publish 3 videos a day in 2023. I'm going to have over 1,000 videos on Instagram and TikTok. I'm taking on the responsibility of doing that. I'm getting people in my life who give me feedback and support. They're going to hold me accountable to that. There's a video going out at 8, 1, and 9 every single day. Go. You're going to have to take on more responsibility if you want to operate out of your best and grow a business or grow your social media platform. It's just necessary. If you're in a business structure and there is a clear pathway for growth, you're going to have to take on more responsibility. I was talking to a guy just the other day, and he's coming from one career, and he's like, I don't know what to do, and he has the skill set of talking on the phone. And I'm like, you need to go to Geico, and you need to work third shift and answer the phone and be a sales guy. They're like, I don't know. I was like, if you get there, and you do it for 6 months, and you use the talent you have, and you succeed, there's a pathway out of that. And you tell them, hey, I'm excited to work third shift. I'm hoping that I will prove to you in the responsibility I take on that I can move into second shift and maybe first shift one day, but I'll take on the third shift responsibility. Let's do it. Very attractive. Very attractive. Then, hey, what's the skill set he's got? He's very talented on the phone. He's got experiences on that. People have given him feedback. Hey, you're good at speaking on the phone. And then step by step by step, take on new responsibility, get the job, go from there. That's the way we level and platform up. Finally, you want to seek out resources and opportunity to develop your professional network. That's 2 things. That means you want to get coaching and you want to find a networking opportunity. So you want to find someone who is ahead of you in the process. If you want to create a course, you need to find someone who's created a course and learn from it. You either need to start with the free YouTube stuff or pay for it. If you want to get into real estate investing, you are either going to have to soak it all up on YouTube and read all the books, or you're going to have to pay for a coaching program that's going to help you do it. And then you have to seek out a networking opportunity. You have to be around people and meet new people. I was just speaking to a realtor today, and her realtor coach said, you need to meet 20 people a day. She's like, what? She goes, in this market, you need to meet 20 brand new people a day. She goes, I don't even see 20 people. She goes, step by step, you got it. You need to get out of the house. You got to go to Starbucks. You got to go here. You got to go there. You got to meet 20 people a day, and then you will grow your network. And then, guys, none of this is easy, and it sucks. Forgive me. Sometimes when we look at the level of responsibility and how much we have to do, and even how things aren't changing. But this is how we put those things together. And you might say, my last 6 months were already this hard. And I would say, guys, I get it. I'm sorry. I understand. I've been there, and I am there in certain circumstances. But if you know what your best is, and you can lay out your talents and your interests, and then you can rely on the experiences that you have, right? And then you can set goals, and then you can create a system around it, and you can get feedback and support, and you can take on new responsibilities, and you learn new skills, and then you get coaching, and then you find a networking group, then you know what's best about you, and you're operating out of it, and you're growing to the next step. Whether that next step is a promotion, whether it's creating a business, growing your revenue, moving from one job to the next, or even relationally. That's how we put it together. And you might say, Gordon, sounds like a lot of work. And I would say it is a lot of work. And the people who do it achieve it. There's no guarantee to it. This isn't a magic formula. This isn't the cheat code. This is the step-by-step by which most people are able to make those growth steps. find out what is best about them, capitalize on it, and move on to the next stage of life. And you know what? You may say, I just did that for 6 months. I don't know if I got another 6 months in me right now. It's like, okay, then can you maintain for 6 months and pick it up again July 1st? Then do that. Do that. But if you're taking a gap year, say, so and so, for what some people would say, okay, take a gap year, take a gap 6 months. But while you're doing it, grind in the background. Go through these steps. Write them down. Figure out who you are. Figure out what your best is. Go get the resources and the coaching that you need. Find the networks. And then when you're ready, you hit the ground running. Operate out of your best and move towards your goals and achieve the things that you've wanted for a long time. Guys, I say these things to you. I've been through this process. I go through this process again every year. Times it's been harder, times it's been easier, but that's the steps of growth. That's what it looks like. And that's what it looks like to capitalize on what you do best. So, I hope that's a lot of good information for you. I will do my best to include some of this in the show notes. I'm not going to go through every step, but if you enjoyed this, go back, repeat it, share it out, that kind of thing. I want to remind you, I want to say thank you for everybody who attended my Breaking the $250,000 Revenue Seminar. I want to say thank you back in December. That was fantastic. I want to thank Dom Lepore, who is our VIP, who showed up in the third hour. And in the next week or so, I am announcing the sequel. We're doing it again. And we're doing it in February. I've already got the VIP lined up. It's crazy. I'm not giving you the date yet because I'm waiting for that date to confirm with the VIP. And if that works, we're going to announce it. Even if you attended the first one, you're going to want to attend this one. We're going to give you lots of goodies if you are coming back a second time. And we got a lot of benefits if you're coming the first time. But if your goal is, I need to break $250,000, how do I get there? That seminar is coming up in mid-February. Cannot wait. All I can tell you is that it will be after the Super Bowl. Don't want to get into the busyness of that season. So guys, thank you so much. Great to talk to you. Glad to be back in the studio. Glad to see Shane Dale. Glad to see all of you guys. And I will see you again next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
How do you shorten the time it takes to buy a car? Car buying just got easier. Pohanka365.com lets you complete as much or as little of the car buying process online. Pohanka365.com. Car buying simplified. Anytime, anywhere.
Small business owners, you should be praised for wanting to grow your business. That's a good thing, and not everybody has the guts to do it. As a business owner myself, I know you've overcome obstacles that people don't even know about. Hi, my name is Gordon Duncan, the owner of Capitalized Marketing and Consulting, and I want you to know that if your business hasn't grown like you want it to, it's not your fault. If it's not COVID getting in the way, it's ridiculous things like changing social media algorithms. You're right in thinking that very few people are doing small businesses any favors right now. But Capitalized Marketing and Consulting is here to help. We've created a 90-day course that is guaranteed to grow the revenue of your business. It will give you the tools that you've been looking for, and as a certified coach, I will be with you along the way. If you would like to learn more about our program, just visit CapitalizeYourBest.com and get started enjoying the success you deserve. Again, that's CapitalizeYourBest.com, and I can't wait to celebrate all you accomplish.